Shabbat Shalom. I have been waiting for this Shabbat since August when my eldest left home for his gap year program in Israel, a program that has been deeply meaningful and transformative, but one that has also kept him on the other side of the world through holidays, birthdays, and just ordinary days too. It's what we wish for our children, that they will spread their wings and soar. But soaring is not always easy on the heart. I've missed him so much, even as I knew he was growing and doing something remarkable. I'm happy to report that he arrived home safely on Thursday morning, and last night our Shabbat table was full once again, giving me the opportunity to bless all four of my children in person for the first time in more than 4 months. As I placed my hands on their heads, I could hardly contain my emotions. Yasimcha Elohim ke'Ephraim v'chi Menashe, Yasimech Elohim ke'Sara, Rivka, Rachel, veLeah. May God make you like Ephraim and Menashe, and like Sara, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah. This week, Ephraim and Menashe make their debut on the stage of Jewish history. Born to Joseph and his wife Osnat, our Torah tells us that they arrive before famine overtakes the land. Their joyful births reflect this time of plenty and this era of abundance and security for all. Joseph named the firstborn Menashe, meaning God has made me forget my hardship and my parental home. The second he named Ephraim, meaning God has made me fertile in the land of my affliction. These two boys, born into plenitude, play an integral role in Joseph's development. Menashe helps him forget or release the trauma of his past and let go of the anger and abandonment that have plagued him since he was left to rot in that pit. As Rabbi Adin Steinschaltz of blessed memory teaches, through Menashe, Joseph becomes a new person. With Ephraim, Joseph finds peace and stability where there was once hostility and volatility. In Egypt, where he was sold into servitude, falsely accused, and cruelly imprisoned, Joseph discovers an unlikely path to freedom and success. Ephraim, a living sign of blessing amidst affliction, marks that improbable transformation, filling Joseph's days with gratitude and the realization that a life of suffering can give way to gentle contentment. In this way, Ephraim opens a horizon of possibility, even when that horizon is hard to see. Menashe and Ephraim enter Joseph's life at the exact right moment, offering healing and hope to a man who has endured profound suffering. In turn, Joseph gives his sons what he himself never had, a life of safety, stability, and support. As second in command to Pharaoh, his family is welcomed and respected. And so even as Ephraim and Menashe maintain their Israelite identities in a foreign land, they are not met with threat or peril, but rather with respect and dignity. When their grandfather Jacob ultimately blesses Ephraim and Menashe, linking them to the sacred chain of Jewish continuity, he proclaims, "By you shall Israel invoke blessings, saying, God make you like Ephraim and Menashe." In that moment, they become the standard bearers of blessing for Jews of every generation as we say, may you come to be like Ephraim and like Manasseh. During this Hanukkah week, in light of the tragedies that have befallen our people, especially at Bondi Beach, I have been thinking deeply about this blessing. May you be like Ephraim and Manasseh. In a world that feels profoundly uncertain, what does it mean to lift our hands and bless a child? Traditionally, we speak these words at the Shabbat table with our children gathered close. These words, may you be like Ephraim and Manasseh, are the ultimate expression of love and hope, a vessel for all we wish their lives to be. What we are, in essence, saying is, may you blossom and grow, may you bloom and flourish, and may you become who you are meant to be. May your life be full of joy and wonder, meaning and love, stardust and magic. May it be abundant in all that is good and beautiful, and may you embrace the unfolding journey of your life. At its core, may you be like Ephraim and Manasseh is a blessing for life itself. The words, may you be, point to an open future, an expanse of life not yet lived. They are words of hope that our children will live to see that future and embrace it, with thousands upon thousands of tomorrows still before them. And yet today, as we reckon with the violence and horror unleashed at Bondi Beach and with the ever-escalating anti-Semitism in our midst, this blessing feels weighted with risk, with peril, and with what-ifs we never before imagined. Undoubtedly, those risks have always existed, but now they feel unmistakably real, undeniably present. I can't help but think of 10-year-old Matilda of blessed memory, the youngest victim at Bondi Beach, described as bright, joyful, and spirited, a child who brought light to everyone around her. She loved the color purple and was often called Matilda B, the symbol which has now become synonymous with her memory. Writer Shira Lankin-Sheps shares, Matilda's family came to Australia from Ukraine in the 1990s, building a life rooted in safety and hope, the kind of life where a day at the beach feels ordinary. Matilda was with her family on the beach. She was celebrating Hanukkah. She was where children are supposed to be. And then evil came to the beach. There is something uniquely horrifying about violence that steals children. Childhood is meant to be protected. 10-year-olds should never become symbols. They should become teenagers, then adults, people with complicated stories and long lives. The world has changed. The stakes have changed. As fervently as we wish for longevity to live out the blessing of Ephraim and Manasseh, we now find ourselves praying first for safety, the kind of safety Ephraim and Manasseh once knew as the children of Joseph. And as we dream of tomorrow, we pray for a world in which our children can be Jewish, proud and publicly Jewish, without fear, without anxiety, without calculating exits or security. And when we offer the words, may you be like Ephraim and Manasseh, our dreams are now tempered by a reality marred by terror. May you blossom and grow, but only in places guarded by metal detectors, security details, and all the rest. Of the many stories coming out of Sydney, one has stayed with me. It is the story of Avner's, a popular Jewish bagelry and bakery owned by Chef Ed Halmagi, proud, visibly Jewish. For 2 years, since October 7th, the bakery endured threats, vandalism, and intimidation. Each time, Ed responded by standing firm. But after the Bondi Beach massacre, that changed. In a letter to his patrons, he wrote, "In the wake of the pogrom at Bondi, one thing has become clear. It is no longer possible to make outwardly, publicly Jewish places safe in Australia. After years of harassment, vandalism, and threats directed at our little bakery, we have to be realistic about the danger going forward. As an open and very public business, we are unable to ensure the safety of our staff and our customers. And so we have made the only decision available to us, one that truly breaks our hearts. Avner's is closed." A friend who grew up in Sydney's Jewish community wrote to me afterwards, "This story is really important," she said. "He really does capture it. No longer safe to keep open a bagel shop. Australia has long been a refuge, home to Holocaust survivors, refugees, and Jews who came seeking safety. Now it feels like the old question has returned. Where do we go next?" Some might say this is the story of Australia, a place about as far away as one can be and still remain on this planet. And yet, when it comes to the Jewish people, distance does not divide us. We are one. They are us, and we are them. Refugees who by luck or by circumstance took a right turn instead of a left, who traveled south instead of north, who had a brother or an aunt in Sydney rather than in New York. We are bound by history, by legacy, and by destiny. What happens in Sydney matters in New York and London and Tel Aviv. It matters to all of us. If Jews in Sydney are struggling to utter the words, "May you be like Ephraim and Manasseh," for fear of an uncertain and unsafe future, we must respond to that fear with solidarity and presence. Their pain is our pain. Their loss is our loss. We don't have the luxury of separating ourselves. Neither do we have the moral license to disengage. One of the most common answers to the question, "Why do we bless with Ephraim and Manasseh?" comes from the contemporary Israeli rabbi Mordechai Elon. He explains that Ephraim and Manasseh are the first pairing of brothers in our Torah who not only do not fight, but they don't struggle for power or jockey for position or wrestle for recognition. They are more than civil. They are loving and kind and warm with one another. Their relationship is peaceful and harmonious. And this is the reason we hope our children will grow to be like Ephraim and like Manasseh. If only. If only our children could grow up in a world as harmonious as the one Ephraim and Manasseh embody. A world without hatred or violence or strife, a world of respectful disagreement and mutual understanding. As I think about the victims of Bondi Beach, their families, and their grieving and fearful communities, that idealistic world feels very far away right now. And yet, as Jews, we will never discount it or disregard it. And we will never stop reaching for that vision of Ephraim and Manasseh. Despite what we have witnessed, despite what we know our brothers and sisters in Australia have endured and will continue to endure, despite everything our people have lost time and again, we will always leave room for possibility, for promise, for hope, and for change. And when Shabbat comes around again, we will continue to bless our children. We will continue to hope for their future, and we will continue to dream of a better tomorrow despite it all, because this is who we are, even now, especially now. Can you hear that song?